need to get into the mindset of these characters. Barack, he is already this person who's going to analyze everything. So I'm going to take it a little bit slow, a little bit more cautious, and I'm going to like literally try hard. Like I'm going to sweat this game. Then Joe, it was, you know what? He can make a few leeways, a few slip-ups. He'll kind of mess up here and there. He thinks like Rock Tomb is super effective against Stantler because he thinks Stantler is a flying type. Like Donald, button masher. Literally just, I think Leaf Blade is bottom left. I'm going to click it. Oh, no, it was like Fire Blast, right? My bad. Birthday's in November, so like that's usually when the Pokemon games get released.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure it was my birthday the next year. They got me a DS or DS Lite or whatever it was and Pokemon Diamond.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is yours. Like, this is just yours to play.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
I had so much fun with that game. Like, it just, it was literally like life-changing. This is some exclusive skill link podcast juice here that you're getting, all right?
This can't be your dream. How would that be possible?
Explain why I can phase through the left side of my TV then. I vividly remember Elite 4-member Oak giving that incredibly motivational speech outside Pallet Town's gym on my Nintendo Wii broadcast channel. Those were the days.
I feel about as safe as a ditto in a daycare right now. We've got a quest to finish. What's your plan of action, Joe?
Well, I did give you both a fair warning, but it's been a while since I've pulled out my big blue Wobbuffet and used submission on it.
Are you insane? That's not very effective.
That just means I'll have to do it over and over and over again.
No. It cannot be.
You cucking corfish? You butter bushwhacker?
No!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Skill Link podcast where we chat and get to know passionate content creators, competitive players, and all the voices who continue to make the Pokemon community incredible. And today's guest is no exception. He is a self-described, just some dude who uploads random videos. He has multiple series including President's Play Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke, Pokemon Infinite Fusion and Battle Revolution, various memes, some outdated cringy video essays. We got a little bit of everything here today.
This guy does his research.
It's our friend, GP, Gameproducer6. How you doing?
Yo, what is up, guys? Damn, I did not expect that out of nowhere. That was crazy. Thanks for having me on. This is quite an experience. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, you described it all perfectly. You know, Pokemon, presidents, cringy, outdated videos. You have it all on the GP6 channel. So
beautiful.
Pleasure being here.
That's awesome. A little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, Josh and I were kind of talking about this before the call and things like that. But, you reached out to us and asked if you could come on. It was an awesome thing to hear from someone out there who wants to come on. And we were looking at your content and we were like, Josh was saying, hey, I know this guy. And I was watching back your stuff. And I love just the memes that, the presidents have. Of just the three presidents doing whatever it is in the world. And now we got Pokemon Sapphire, which is where it was like the golden age of President AI stuff for me.
Yeah.
And so we were watching it back. I was watching a lot of your shorts and things like that. And it's just hilarious, man. I love the meme of it. And I love that we can now start applying it to our Nuzlocke and Pokemon love. So thanks for reaching out. And I'm so excited to get more into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. It is quite a bizarre combination to say, if you told people back when Nuzlockes really broke out kind of a couple of years ago and you said, imagine there was a video out there of presidents playing this, people would just be like, okay, you're insane. And now we have that to some extent. And a lot of people say that the videos that we put out as president creators, that this is like the good timeline. This is if the president sat down in a room and we're just like, all right, we got the Smogonite, we've got the analytic, crazy Barack. He knows everything that's going on. And then you got Joe, he's just chilling. He's just going through.
He's vibing.
I appreciate it. Yeah, he's just there. He's like a lot of us when we were younger,
Yeah.
So it is quite a crazy thing to kind of say that's what I produce, it's crazy to say, what are you known for in the Pokemon or in the AI community? And so, well,
right.
I get presidents to play a Pokemon Nuzlocke, not just a Pokemon game, a Nuzlocke, right? But it's it's insane. The video that I have out of the Sapphire movie it's like a Guinness World Record for me. Like it's a personal achievement because as far as I'm aware, it's the most viewed Pokemon presidents play video on YouTube.
No way.
That's awesome.
By a large margin, by like 30K as of this video. So I'm proud of that. Considering it came out 4 months ago, the videos were released over time, but the full movie came out 4 months ago, which is well after the meme has died. Like the meme is gone by this point.
Yeah.
And to still get that traction is just crazy.
Well, I was gonna say, I
Those are
remember when
awesome.
the meme first came out, and it was popping up on my Instagram and TikTok, and I liked them all because I thought they were all hilarious. Like whether they're playing
Mm.
Mario Kart or like
Fortnite or
Warzone or something
whatever.
like that. Yeah, anything. I thought they were all funny. Like they were awesome. And then this came up again. I'm like, oh, this is this still kind of a thing? And I didn't care because it was Pokemon. It was a Nuzlocke, and it's of my favorite generation. So I'm like, it's a combination of funny that you mentioned the AI thing. It's like also the good timeline of the AI because everyone has all their worries about getting
Yes.
sentient and like, oh, it can be
Yeah.
really bad and the dangers of this, that, and the other. And then here you are making them making presidents play Pokemon. It's like the good ending for AI. It's like this is what it
Yeah.
should be for.
That's
So,
hopefully that's the goal. That
I
was
know.
one of my things going into the series, that I was able to show people that with a bit of human input and with a bit of creativity, you can kind of put your own spin on it. Because
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I guarantee you, if I just put out Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke episode 1, that would probably get like a couple dozen views, maybe. But this
Yep.
has
Yeah.
kind of given me that open gateway to show people like this is something more. This is a different sort of medium and a form of creativity to get your videos out there. That
sure.
we've all seen a Sapphire Nuzlocke. We all can play beat for beat, and we've all played a handful of times too. But to have these 3 people just play through that, everybody knows, but they don't know them to this
Iconic.
extent. They don't know how
Yeah.
much they know about Pokemon.
Right.
And a lot of, I find it funny. People are like, "How do you write dialogue for 3 different people?" I'm like, "Do you not just listen to the 3 voices in your head and just type it out?"
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
But no, that was
amazing.
genuinely. It's funny you bring that up. That is genuinely one of the first reasons I made such a thing, to be like, look, yeah, you can be worried about AI in the future and all that sort of stuff, but this is this is a good way. This is an entertaining way, a positive
Mhm.
outlook on it.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you picked up on it. Someone got the message, at least.
Definitely. At least one person, at least a
I
couple
love
of us.
that.
Well, before and we'll get more into this later, but one thing I love about it is that you give the 3 guys like these extreme caricatures of what people already
Mm.
kind of perceive their personalities to be. Like you said, Barack's kind of like he's trying to be the mediator between Biden and Trump. And he's the
Mhm.
analytic one. He's the one playing and everything. Biden's just kind of vibes, but he's also a little spacey and kind of aloof and everything like that. And then you have Trump, who it looks like he knows his stuff, but he's like always bashing on everyone. He's a little more toxic than the other guys, and it leads to content. It's like you nailed the meme of the 3 guys so well.
Yeah.
But
When I made the first 3 episodes, I played the game in, I think it was 4 sittings. I did the first 3 parts, then I did like 20 parts, then I did like the last couple of episodes, and then I did the finale.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
when I did those first 3 episodes, I didn't know what way I was going to do it, so I thought, okay, I probably will have them play like one person takes an episode each. And then starting from episode 4, I was like, you know what? I need to get into the mindset of these characters. So I thought, right, Barack, he is already this person who's going to analyze everything. So I'm going to take it a little bit slow, a little bit more cautious, and I'm going to like literally try hard. Like I'm going to sweat this game. Then for Joe,
Yeah.
it was, you know what? He can make a few leeways, a few slip ups. He'll kind of mess up here and there. He thinks like Rock Tomb is super effective against Stantler because he thinks Stantler is a flying type, like, which is not real, but that's the thought process you got to get into. And then Donald, button masher, literally just, I think Leaf Blade is bottom left. I'm going to click it out. No, it was like Fire Blast, right? My bad.
yeah,
I
I
literally
love
just
that.
got into the mindset.
that's
And
awesome.
that made it so much easier to write for.
For sure.
So there's a little
That's
technique if anybody's
amazing.
interested.
We'll dive more into the actual content here in a second. We wanted to hit that, but want also to get to know you a little bit as well. Outside of Pokemon, are there any other interests or hobbies that are taking up your time right now?
Like I'm a gamer through and through. Ever since I was young. Pokemon was one of the first games I got into, but I am a very big fighting game fanatic as well.
Okay.
I love
Okay,
Smash.
cool.
Smash is a real fighting game. I don't care what anybody says. I love
Oh,
Street
yeah,
Fighter.
absolutely it is.
We're
You
with
guys agree. Thank you. Okay,
Yes.
I'm on a good podcast, so that's all right.
Yeah.
But I think, Mortal Kombat is amazing, really fun game. Tekken, anything where it's literally you versus somebody else, even the perspective of party games, Mario Party or
Oh yeah.
we do Jackbox on the GP6 channel here every Thursday.
Yeah.
We even just that interactivity and trying to just beat somebody else. I don't know, it just adds another element of competitivity to the game, that it's not just you tell a normal person like, oh, I'm going home to play a video game, they think you're just beating up a computer for 10 hours or whatever, but
Yeah.
there's a bit of skill. That's
Definitely.
kind of the stuff that I'm interested in at the moment. I was big into like single player games, story mode, stuff like that, but I don't know. I think I tried Final Fantasy VII Remake, and now I don't want to touch an RPG ever again. It's too much. You got to invest time into it.
Oh yeah.
The only one I really stick around with now is Xenoblade. I don't know if you get any of your Xenoblade
Yep.
fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Xenoblade's
I
great.
like you. But I played 3 when it came out and the DLC. And I mean, like, I literally binged that thing to no end. And I love those series and those games so much. But it's so hard to get back into a series like that as
It
well.
is, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the catalog of Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, they don't really interest me anymore, you know?
Right.
That is one of the great things about fighter games is that like you said, becoming an adult as a gamer kid, like
Yeah.
it's hard to give investment to a lot of things because you just don't have the time to really feel like you don't feel always satisfied with maybe an hour of gameplay in an RPG because you didn't go very far, right?
Yeah,
You maybe
yeah.
leveled up a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit, but fighter games like you're saying, like I mean, me and my little brother we're very into Smash Bros, and so like we
Mm,
play Smash. You get an hour of Smash Bros, then you can do
And
doubles
feel super
online.
satisfied. Yeah.
mm,
Exactly.
It feels great.
And so it's a good
absolutely.
time. I hear your call there, but also RPGs are great and fun, but it's like you have to find the time to do them and really feel satisfied. But then there's those gems that pop up every so often, every few years, where you can finally get in there and really have a good storyline play out for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. You're a Zelda fan from the background, I presume, Logan? Yeah,
Yes. Been
yeah.
hearing and got my big old
Oh,
poster right
that is
there,
beautiful.
Zelda right
That's
there.
amazing.
Mhm.
But
Went to
like, you
Comic
know,
Con last year.
Zelda is a basic premise, but it's one of those games that's so easy to sink hours
It's a
into.
lot more accessible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's literally go from point A to B. You got to be Ganon, right? That's fine. So if you
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
thing that you're saying, if you pick that up for an hour in an evening, yeah, you might get like a dungeon or something done, but at least you're not having to learn like 5 characters' names and these different like branching storylines
All
and
these,
stuff like that.
yeah.
It's not
Mhm.
overly complicated. And then
Yes.
even stuff like that, linking it back to Pokemon and stuff like Link to the Past. If you do like a randomizer run, it's so much replay value out of the same game. You know, that
Exactly.
stuff like that really interests me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like really being able to reuse knowledge in a new way and still have it
Mm,
give you a challenge, right? Like mastery is not making it easier. Mastery is making it so that you can play the game better as it plays you better. You know what I mean? Like it's kind
yeah,
of fun that way.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think it's a good call on the Zelda. I love, I mean, I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, but especially the older Zelda games. Like you said, it's the very kind of bare bones of what a modern day RPG is, and very easy to play. I mean, even to this day, I feel like it's really easy for me to just toss on Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time, and just enjoy them. You know, nostalgia plays
Exactly.
a big factor in it, but you know, I think those games are timeless for that reason. So
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
definitely.
Okay, now that we kind of gotten some of your background and your other hobbies and things like that, we're gonna kind of bring it back to Pokemon. We're just kind of curious. So
Awesome.
what's your journey with Pokemon? How did you get started? Do you have like a game that you started with, a series, something like that? We're just kind of curious. How did you get from beginning of Pokemon to where you are today?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So when I was 5 or 6, so I've got a big family. Like at the moment, I've got 8 siblings. I'm the
Oh,
third
nice.
oldest. So like when I was younger, it was just like baby after baby was coming, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of brotherly love and stuff like that, obviously. And my oldest brother, he had a game of Pokemon Fire Red for his Game Boy. Not is it Game Boy Advance? You know the old Game Boy. It was
Yep.
like the long one with the batteries in the back, not like the
Yeah.
Yeah,
flip one.
the Advance, yeah, Game Boy
It's the
It's
Advance.
not the
Advance, right?
SP,
Right.
but
Mm.
Yeah, not the SPD, just
do I
the
have
straight
it
Advance.
here?
No, I know way
One
he got it in
second.
the bag.
He's gonna whip it.
It's upstairs. It's
You got it
upstairs.
somewhere. You got it somewhere.
It's the
My
one that didn't have the
DS is right
backlit
there.
screen. I have
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
No
the
backlit
painful
screen.
one. The
Yeah.
painful one. I remember we were being dropped to school. So my older brother, he was in a secondary school that was like a couple of minutes away from the school that I was going to at the time. I was what, 5 or 6? Yeah, because it was before Diamond and Pearl came out. And I remember it vividly. He was in Lavender Town. He was in the tower, and he was playing in the front. And my mother was like, "Yo, you got to get out. You got to walk to school." So he'd hop out of the car, and he literally turned around to me in the back seat, and he said, "Here, play this real quick, and finish it for me." I was like, "Play what? What are you talking about?" I just pick up this screen. He has like a level 40 Charizard. He's against the Haunter. I'm like, what is this? What am I looking at right now? Because I didn't understand the concept of games, right? Like I knew what a TV show
Yeah.
was, and I was coming to grips with that. And now I'm here learning like there's like a story here in your hands that you're doing. I'm like clicking buttons. I don't know what's going on. And I think I left it on in the car. Like the batteries just died on it. I didn't even get to save it. And slowly from then, I would just go into my brother's room. I just peek in, and then I'd be like, yo, you playing that little like purpley thingy? Like, what? Can you show me more of that? And you'd be like, yeah, come on in. And that's kind of where it started. I really got invested in that. He let me play his Fire Red a little bit, and that was super cool. I always thank him for that. And I remember one time he beat the fighting gym, and he picked Hitmonlee, and he hadn't saved in over an hour. And I had it in my hand, and I dropped the Game Boy. The batteries fell out, and the game froze.
Oh,
And he was like,
yeah.
I'm never going to get him again. That Bruce Lee guy, he's so cool. I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. Sorry, yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, man. So my parents then saw that I was really interested in that, and I think it was my birthday, or because my birthday's in November, so like that's usually when the Pokemon games get released.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure it was my birthday. The next year they got me a DS or a DS Lite or whatever it was, and Pokemon Diamond.
Yeah.
And they were like, "This is yours. Like, this is just yours to play." And I had
Oh,
much
wow.
fun with that game. Like, it just,
Yeah.
it was literally like life changing. It showed me everything, and I learned so much through it. And I remember we were on like a trip then later that year, and it took me like 3 or 4 weeks to beat like the Elite Four and the champion and stuff.
Mm.
And I had this Dialga, and I was like, dude, this guy's meant to be legendary. He cannot carry me. Like, this is ridiculous. And then the last day of that trip, I ended up beating it, and I never felt so much satisfaction in my life. And then the following year or whenever Platinum came out, I got that. And again, I sunk hours into it. And
so good.
Platinum even further changed my life, because it was like you were replaying the same game, but you had a better understanding of it, especially when you're that young as a kid, that I was able to really play smartly and really understand it. And I still have that Platinum save to this day. I will not reset that Platinum. Like, that is literally just my childhood held on to, you know?
That's amazing.
And from there, it just spiraled out of control. Got Heart Gold. I got Pokemon Black, X. You know, the journey just continued. I did kind of peter out. You know, when everybody gets to that phase of Pokemon where they're like, I'm not feeling it anymore. Mine was Moon. I could not finish Moon. It was the first game I could not finish. Because before that, I'd spent like, you got it, right. So the problem was a friend of mine who I'm not friends with anymore bought me Pokemon Moon, and I played through it, and I'd already sunk about 500 hours into Pokemon X, and I was getting into like competitiveness and like raising and breeding Pokemon. And I'd come home from school, and you know, like the first thing you do when you're like a teenager coming home from school, you'd be like, you procrastinate, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna play a game before I do my homework. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna play Pokemon Moon before I do my homework. I play like 20 minutes, and I'd be like on Mount Ula Ula or whatever it's called. I'd be like, you know what, Matt's calling me, I gotta go. Like, I did not want to play it. So after that, I kind of casually got into it. I bought my brother Pokemon Shield. Then I ended up playing through it after that, and actually relatively enjoyed it. Funny enough, because I wasn't taking it serious. You know, I was just playing through to enjoy it, and I think the game actually holds up pretty well. And then I got Scarlet last year, 2 years ago, and I did a Nuzlocke race with a friend of mine on his Twitch channel. And again, I don't know what you guys' stance on Scarlet and Violet is, but I really loved it. Like, I did enjoy it. You know, obviously bugs, everything aside, you know, there's no excuse for it, but just the concept alone made it better than Gen 7, in my opinion, you know?
And I think it's actually a very excellent Nuzlockable game. Like, with the new Pokemon, the gym challenges, because there are so many boss battles, you do have to like calculate out some like really strategic things. So as a Nuzlocke, it's a very interesting and like strategic game that way as well.
Definitely.
There's a lot I liked about Scarlet on it. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, I got Shield, relatively enjoyed it. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. I like it. And then I don't know if I got an okay copy, but I don't think I had any game breaking. I saw the videos online. I saw people experiencing the bugs, but my personal playthrough, I was like, that was pretty clean. I don't have any complaints. And then I thought the story was awesome. I like that they kind of have. One thing I didn't love as much in the past is that the Elite Four, or like the final boss of like the antagonist of the story, kind of was like an afterthought, because you do it before the Elite Four. Like, you know, you beat Team Magma, you beat Team Aqua before the Elite Four and the Champion. So it kind of feels like, oh, you kind of forget. I like that you do the Elite Four and Champion, but then you go to Area Zero afterwards, and you have the crazy revelation of who the professors actually are, or who they aren't. You know, if you don't, for those who don't know out there, I'm not gonna. You should know by this point. But,
surely,
you know, they should. Yeah. But
the song goes crazy. That final boss
it's so good.
Just,
it's so good.
I remember I was in the call with my friend Mello, is his name, and we did a load of raids, and that raid song is even awesome as well.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
the motif of the raid song at the end, and he's like, what is this? I'm hearing like a song that I remember. And I'm like, is that the raid song?
That's a
No
raid
way.
song. Yeah,
And then once it kicked in, like when I got to it, I was like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
probably the greatest song ever. Like,
It's
it's
good.
so
Yeah.
good.
they always
It's
kill it
so
with the
good.
music. They always do so good with
Always.
music.
Always.
I guess kind of a nice little segue for this, talking about Turo or Sada. AI. So now kind of leaning more into your like that transition right there.
That was amazing.
There you go.
This guy scares me. I don't know what Logan run. That's all I'm saying.
I know, right? Maybe
Yeah,
there's something about me that I haven't revealed yet. I'm super
Yeah.
sentient, right?
AI Josh reveals himself.
Just my eyes start flickering and everything. They go white or whatever.
The music
so-
starts playing. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
we need to figure out.
There you
Oh
go.
no, I've
There
seen
you
this
go.
one.
So yeah, now leaning kind of into what you've been doing. Obviously, we were kind of talking about that at the beginning, but how do you think AI will improve Pokemon games? Whether that's actual studios utilizing AI, whether that's people who make ROM hacks or people who make content like you. What kind of effect do you see maybe moving forward with AI in Pokemon games?
Well, like as I said, the actual phase of the AI as a meme, it has died down. Anybody
Yeah.
that gets into the game now, they're specifically making it to try and spin their own form of content on it, which is great. Like that's amazing. It's not people that are just tagging along for the views and stuff. But
Yeah.
in terms of production, again, I think it's got to do with having that smart approach to it. Like I'm not very heavily invested into like the AI business and stuff in and of itself, but I know that people are complaining about like the future of AI and Chat GPT and all that kind of stuff, and how it's killing the art industry and stuff. But again, I'm hoping that my approach to it and that my angle of there is a way to make this work with a bit of like a human insertion behind it, for a lack of a better term, that it can improve things. And funny you mentioned that about the production, because I had never thought of it from that angle. But a lot of people's main complaints about Pokemon games nowadays are, they're sloppy. There's some things that
Yeah.
can't be done. And
Yeah.
I personally think it's, Game Freak, when they were doing 2D games, they knew that back to back. Like they knew that inside and out, programming and concept wise, and how to execute all these things. And then when they made the jump to 3D, they kind of struggled, and they were putting in these old, outdated ideas that just don't work in a 3D environment, or they were unfamiliar with the tools they were given. So maybe if they do kind of look at that side of, is there a way that they can improve Pokemon models or animations and stuff like that if they outsource this sort of thing, or if they add stuff with AI? Like, I don't know how that would be received if it was
Yeah.
publicly known. But I think in terms of content creation wise, it's not doing any harm at the moment. Like we have to put a disclaimer at the start of all of our videos to say this is not
Yeah.
real.
Right.
And the amount of comments I get that go, "Are you serious? Why did you have to put that disclaimer?" I'm just like, I
You're
have
like,
to do that. I
yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
like
Just to
literally,
be safe, right?
yeah, 100%. But it could be a thing that somebody puts up a Pokemon Soul Silver video tomorrow, and they're like, "I am the real Barack, and you should go out and vote for whoever's running in the election."
Right.
And
Right.
then the whole thing just turns over and everything shuts down, and they'll ruin it for everybody. That's just something we kind of have to live with as a worry,
Yeah.
and hope that it doesn't happen. But again, I hope people don't take it to heart and actually realize that Barack has probably never picked up Soul Silver in his life.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry to break all those hearts out there, but he probably hasn't.
Right. I was gonna
Could you
say,
imagine
regardless. Oh,
a
you say, Logan?
president's tour of like his house, and this is my copy of Soul Silver.
I'm more of a Digimon type of person. God damn it, man!
Nah,
Of course you are.
nah,
Of course you
Barack.
are.
I was
Damn
gonna
it, man.
say, regardless of affiliation, you got to imagine the approval rating of any guy in any party would skyrocket if they're like, "I just played through Pokemon Emerald last month." And it was so fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Absolutely.
the Barack, so Logan, this is an AI. It's someone doing an impression, but there's like a short minute-long video of Barack. He has like it's a Sonic related one, and he's at a press conference and he has the Chaos Emeralds, and they're like the Secret Service is freaking out. They're like, "Barack, do you have the Chaos Emeralds?" He's like, "I got a Chaos Emerald right here," and he pulls it, and the guy's doing like a really good impression of him, and it's just I just thought of that because it's just the
It's
stuff people
really
make. It's
funny.
so funny.
It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Anyways,
We'll
but
send you the clip after this because it's so funny.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
I think I've seen it floating around, but definitely,
It's like a
definitely
minute
do.
long. Yeah, it's quick, but anyways,
I think one of the things that I like all those things that you mentioned are awesome too. Just be able to see like because Nintendo obviously I love Nintendo, but I hate that Nintendo doesn't always respect the timelines or like the time restrictions for people, their workers, like things like that, right?
Mm,
And so it's
yeah.
like I think they really could. I'm hoping that they can really see benefits on certain things in this, like where they can cut those corners in like hopefully a good way, like or not cut corners but create shortcuts to where they can jump ahead and like give more of a time cushion for a lot of these releases and things like that, right? Where we can see a few things as AI gets better and as it kind of, and it'll be interesting to see that. I also have had the thought that like it'd be really cool to see like almost like if Pokemon made their own like BattleBot AI, where like on every file of the game, like it would boot up like its own version, and like the AI would like memorize or learn how you battle, and so it gets stronger against you.
Yeah.
I think
I like
I
that.
think that'd be like the rival. Like I don't know how they would do it exactly, but like maybe each trainer has like a little like previous experience, right? Then like your rival would be completely brand new, learning against you and how you guys play against each other. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be insane.
Like
They could probably do some pretty crazy stuff in a few years once stuff gets more intricate and they
like
put in the effort.
stabilized. And,
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome actually. In like Gen 3, the way it's like the AI is either like 0 or like 200. And it's like maybe
Yeah.
if that was the curve where it's like, okay, the game has learned how you play and stuff, and early trainers it'll be 0, and then as you get closer to the Elite Four, it's like right, they're at like 190 or 200. Like they might actually
Yeah.
understand how you play. They might switch. They might have a set of items that they might rotate and go, right, this guy loves the use of berries or whatever. Let's try implement something there to counteract that. I think that'd be cool actually. That'd be a really cool battle system.
They just start spamming like bug bite on you or knockoff or incinerate and everything. Yeah.
And then everyone goes,
pluck.
they're reading my inputs. This is ridiculous. I'm like, that's difficulty.
I do like that. It seemed like at least in the Blueberry Academy DLC that they started to implement like actual competitive strategies into the trainers, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see. I've even seen some people say like, hey, for the next games, instead of type specialized gym leaders, maybe see a team focus on like a trick room gym or like a team that uses like two guys have choice scarves or something like that, or they do like I don't know, focusing on a specific stat instead of just a generic typing. Or if they do a typing, like instead of a fire gym, do like a sun gym, where it's like only half the Pokemon are fire, but the other ones benefit from sun being up or something cool like that.
Like chlorophyll and stuff like that. Right?
That'd be a handy gateway into the competitive side, because Pokemon really it's either you are VGC oriented or you play the main games, and it's very hard to get the jump into that. So that would actually open up a lot of possibilities.
I actually saw, I don't know if you know, but so Jimothy Cool, he does a lot of competitive Pokemon stuff. Yeah, he's awesome, fantastic. We actually had him on a couple months ago, but he did a video talking about the barrier into competitive Pokemon, like just being a casual player into competitive, and how the actual games themselves don't do a very good job of making it easy to build stuff or to understand how to, like, there's a lot of resources out there, but they were made by us, the players, kind of thing.
Yeah, literally.
Nothing's out there by the actual Pokemon company or in the actual games that kind of helps you get there or makes it easier to get there.
I think in a lot of ways it's also because Pokemon doesn't completely understand the intricacies of the competitive scene. Like
I don't know. I never believe people when they say that, because they're programming these games, right? Even though, like, you look at like current VGC and you're like, right, they bring back these threats like Urshifu, and they're doing like these open registration formats and stuff like that. So now you're allowed legendaries again. Are you telling me they don't think people are going to use like Zacian and Zamazenta and Groudon and Kyogre? Like, I feel like they know to some extent, right? Otherwise they wouldn't allow those floodgates to open.
We're gonna bring we're gonna bring Incineroar back and be completely oblivious,
and he's not going to be used. We're gonna buff him, and nobody's going to use him. Like, seriously?
Come on.
That's ridiculous.
One other thing we want to ask you as well about your content and everything. That speaking of the game knowledge, it's clear that from the scripts you build that you have a ton of game knowledge. There's a lot of inside jokes. There's references to specific play styles that really showcase your game knowledge. So what do you draw from? Is it just previous experience? Are there any specific jokes that you've made that you're really proud of, that you're like, hey, that was I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty clever one. I'm proud of that one. Or any other cool moments?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't know where to start with that. I'll put that on the back burner while I give you an answer there. But as I said, like when I was getting into the games, I played through the mainline games, and then I got to Gen 6, and I fell in love with Gen 6. I know a lot of people have their
Yeah.
problems with it, but I really got into the competitive side at Gen 6. I knew a bit about Gen 5, and I was playing Shoddy Simulator and Showdown and stuff like when that was the thing back in Gen 5. But I got into X and Y, and I said, you know, like, what is there actually outside of the game here to do? What does the community do? And, you know, I did the typical thing. You bring your Wi-Fi team, like your main team that you play through the story, and you play some dude on ranked, and he's got like this crazy IV, EV built bread team, egg moves, these crazy items you've never seen before. And I got washed, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And funny enough, like it was around like 2012, 2013, I really started getting into a lot of the PokeTubers that were big back then. And the one that really helped me was Shofu. I don't know how much of a fan you guys are, but
Shofu.
I'm still convinced, right? He's like the funniest man ever, right? If he started uploading consistently on YouTube today, he would be the biggest YouTube channel online. Like, I don't care what anybody says. But he had great team building and Wi-Fi matches, and, you know, he was funny, so it made you want to watch more. And I really started to learn from that. And then I started breaking off into, like, you know, the big hitters back then. You had like Maryland and Super Scarm and Leroy and all that kind of stuff. And again, they would talk about competitive, and you get into it. So Gen 6, I was big into the meta. Even though I didn't like Gen 7's mainline games, I still kind of got into the meta game of that. But then I started to kind of slowly fall off. But I kind of went backwards then. And I said, you know, I never really explored Gen 5's Weather Wars or Gen 4 and the lead matchup. And then I went into Ubers and then Advanced and then Gen 2. And, you know, I started to kind of pick up the pieces there. So a lot of that is from personal experience. But even the way you say, you know, Jim T. Cool, he is very experienced in Advanced. And your favorite guest that I've ever had on is BKC. That guy is fountain of knowledge for Gen 3.
Genius,
Also hilarious guy.
Absolutely. He is the funniest man ever. But he, you know, his knowledge even on Gen 3, like I watch a lot of his videos. I go, I'm like, that's such a creative approach. I've never thought about that. Like, what creativity can I bring to the tier or to the battles? And a lot of times I just spew it out then to the guys. I'm like, okay, how about Trump jokes about like a choice scarf Dragonite? No one's ever done that before. You know, like just random things. And then someone in the comments is like, I made it to 1200 elo with choice scarf Dragonite. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's a lie. Come on, don't lie to me. But it's a lot of inspiration from people online because the resources are there, right? Like YouTube is such a big space. You can find anything you want. So that's where a lot of that comes into. I like to think I know a lot about the games, but it's so intricate. You can't cover everything, right? So that's where I get the game knowledge from. And then the jokes, again, a lot of that derives from like the Pokemon raps and the Pokemon ciphers and stuff. Like the wordplay is just incredible. And I've said some crazy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how much of it I could say. One of my favorite lines that I'll never forget, because I was on the train to see my girlfriend one time, and I was just sitting there, and this was before ZA was announced, and I thought, what lines can I come up for like with X and Y? There's not a Z. There should be a Z line in there. So, quote for quote, in the sheets, my game freaks. Maybe we can take my X and your Y and make a Pokemon Z.
Hey, there we go.
If you think about that long
that's
enough,
a bar.
Like, that's smooth. That's
good.
smooth.
That's really good.
Episode 17, I think, of Sapphire is when the guys fight Winona. And I had that be this whole thing of they do like pickup lines and stuff for everybody out there to go try in the Pokemon universe.
So
that was
clever.
one of the ones in there that I'll never forget.
That's so good.
What's the other one? If we ever went to Unova, the first route I would love for you to explore is to pat the rat. I'll let that simmer. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy ones. I have literally a document of
just
like
stuff.
Ones that like they're ready to go that I need to just get out when the timing's right. So yeah, those two will stick with me forever, I guess.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. That's great. Also, kind of like switching gears just a little bit, but on your Twitter, we noticed that you Twitter X.
Oh no! Sorry, continue. I'm worried.
You're good.
Elon's listening.
Okay.
that you ran an Infinite Fusion tournament a few weeks back.
Okay, good.
We were kind of curious, how did that go? What were your favorite moments? Because that is such a kind of a fun game, and like a very it was a lot bigger a couple years ago, but it's just kind of a dear to the heart for the community right now. So I'm just kind of
Mm.
curious, how did that went and what you thought, and in the future maybe any other tournaments that you're gonna hold or any other fun activities like that.
Yeah, that was something. I was on a week break from work, and I had almost the next episode of Infinite Fusion done, and I thought, do I want to put off the next episode and do something else? Yeah, sure, why not? What'll I do? Maybe I'll do a tournament. Sure, why not? Just to like promote the series a little bit. So I put a $100 prize pool, Infinite Fusion random battles tournament, just so that people could get into it. I didn't want people like having to panic over making teams and having pre-built stuff.
Teams
So I
and
just
all
said,
that.
look, just show up and you can play. That's fine. And one little mistake I might have made is I promoted it. I promoted it on a YouTube video. I put it on Twitter, as you said. I put it in my Discord. I put it in a collaborative Discord. And then I put it into the Pokemon Showdown extension Discord for Infinite Fusion. So the people that actually run the server. And I accidentally invited the third and the fourth best Infinite Fusion random battles players, and they mopped everybody. They knew the sets inside out.
Insane.
They knew
That's
everything that
insane.
popped up. They were like, all right, I'm gonna, they switch, and like they knew the Draco was coming into a fairy. Like, how do you know that?
That's
You don't know that
ridiculous.
unless you're number 3 on the ladder.
Yeah.
So yeah, he took it
Yeah.
handily. But my favorite moment from that whole tournament is we have this other guy in the community. He's gonna kill me for saying this. Broadway CJ97. He does presence playing Pokemon Yellow, and he's currently doing a
nice.
Crystal Nuzlocke. And he is the biggest tryhard I've ever met, and I love him. I love him to pieces, but he's a tryhard. He is like top 20 or top 25 Mario Party 1 speedrunners. That's how bad this
Wow.
guy is, right?
No
Just to put it
way.
out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, and he's got like a sub 20 in 16 star, I think, for 64. But
Gosh.
That's amazing.
even if he sucks, he tries, right?
Yeah.
And he was against
Yeah.
this number 1 seed guy, and he somehow won a game, and he lost the second game, and it was a nail biter. Like, it was like 2 mons left.
Yeah.
And GG, good game, everybody in chat. And he's just straight to the Discord. He's like, I almost won the game. I was almost the best Infinite Fusion player in the world. Now, I'm making it dramatic.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
that's how I read it. Like, bro, it's a random battle term. You can't get, come on.
Yeah, it's not
you
that
get
deep.
dealt a bad hand, or
Yeah.
you were dealt a good hand, and that's why you won. Just chill,
Yeah.
But that was the thing. And then I invited him for top 8 commentary. I was like, yo, you want to hop on top 8 comms? And he was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to even be a part of this anymore. I don't want to see this guy ever
Oh
again.
my gosh.
I'm like, come on, man. It's just a video game, So
That's
that's just so
hilarious.
funny to me. I'll never get over that. I love him,
Dude,
though. Love you,
That's
CJ.
great.
The
That's
fusion
great.
stuff is crazy. Yeah, Logan. We have like our own little draft league as well, and in between main seasons, we'll do mini tournaments with like these random, like like a little cup or a fusion tournament. We did a fusion one like a year and a half ago or a year ago about that, and yeah, I mean it's like the craziest thing. Like some of these guys I've watched, just like some tournament clips or whatever, and I'm like, how do you have the extra capacity game knowledge to store all the like the fuse stuff as well? Because like half
Yeah,
the
it's
time when you're
insane.
playing, I'm like, I just stumbled into a win by like an interaction happened, and I didn't even know that interaction existed. I'm like, oh, cool, that's a that's a win, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Or like you lose, I can't even get mad at that because I didn't even know that was a possible outcome with that interaction of that specific Pokemon being fused with that specific other Pokemon, and then it
Pokemon, yeah.
happened to work out. So,
it's
anyways.
insane. It's insane.
well,
That's
sweet. Well,
awesome.
we have a few more like kind of fun questions now. Stepping away from the content, some fun general Pokemon questions to kind of wrap up our chat here.
Awesome.
And yeah, these are just kind of just general Pokemon universe stuff. You give us whatever comes to the top of your head first. We kind of touched on this already, but I guess you can go into more detail. What's your favorite Pokemon game? Is it Platinum?
Yeah, it's Platinum.
Okay.
Excellent choice.
Like as I say, there's so much there. There's so much content.
It's so
You
good.
can, you can boot up another file, and you can do a randomizer. You could do an egg lock, a soul link, and you can just go any direction from there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like like top 3 gens in my opinion is Gen 4, Gen 3, Gen 6.
Okay, yeah.
I know
There
Gen
you
6
go.
is a bit controversial.
No,
but
I
like
love Gen 6.
Gen 4 and Gen 3 are safe. Like everybody loves those, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think it's great because even if Pokemon, like the Pokemon company, just fell off tomorrow and they release 10 generations of horrible games, at least we have 4 and 3 that we can spin so much, you know? Like they really did give us a lot of creativity there that I can't really complain about. But like Gen 3, I probably had the most hours in because I've done reruns of like Emerald and Sapphire and Ruby, and I've randomized, I've tried random types, I've tried Soul Links, as I said, I've tried Cage Locks, everything under the sun. I've done it in Gen 3. So definitely the most replayable one, in my opinion.
Definitely.
It's so good.
I think so good. Dude, I've really I love Gen 6 as well. I'm actually rewatching because I have it on well, I had it on Hulu. It's on Amazon Prime now. But I'm rewatching the XY anime series.
Oh,
and dude, it's I love, I mean, aside from the megas, I just think, I don't know, I really do like Gen 6. I'm very excited for Legends ZA. So glad to see it get some love. But yeah, I think for me, Gen 3 is my favorite as well, but 4 is right there because I've also have some pretty fond memories of Diamond and Platinum. So you're a man after my own heart.
Do you have any mega hopes for ZA? Any hopes?
Ooh.
I actually do have a few that I wrote down. We have our little Discord for our draft league, and someone asked about it. Logan, do you have some off the top of your head? Well, this one of our buddies literally asked this question the other day. Logan, did you have any off the top of your head?
I think Mega Mightyena would be amazing.
I love Mightyena.
Or also some Gen 2 love, like Mega Quagsire or Mega
Skarmory?
Mega Sudowoodo. Mega Sudowoodo would be great.
Mega Sudowoodo.
That'd be crazy.
Interesting.
I would love to see, because they've already really hammered down the first 3 generations with tons of megas, even though there's still some I'd like to see. It'd be cool to see like I would like to see them give megas to the Gen 6 starters. I know Green Ninja has already gotten like so much attention, but I'd like to see something for Delphox or Chestnut. I always thought Swellow needed one more evolution because I love Swellow, but it's the one regional bird that has just one evolution. So like a Mega Swellow I think would be cool. Mega Galvantula would be pretty sweet. I love the Spider Boy.
Yeah, that'd be great actually.
I guess it's gonna be Kalos. I mean, I think Mega Talonflame or something like that would be really cool. But they can do some crazy stuff.
Interesting.
What about you?
I haven't given much thought to it, to be honest, but
I know a big one that everyone says is Flygon, just because Flygon's like the
I feel like that's obvious, right? Like they've got to do that one, surely.
Flygon and Haxorus, I think both definitely need one.
Haxorus too, yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Nice.
Good point.
Or Dredagon too. I think Dredagon could use one too.
I always forget about Dredagon.
Yeah, Jesus. Cryogonal. I always pair Dredagon and Cryogonal. They're just so forgettable. You just remember one, you remember the other. You're like, oh yeah, they exist.
Yeah, yeah.
I used Dredagon for one of our draft leagues, and it did. Partly because me using
I remember that.
I still didn't know how it like I was learning how it worked. But I actually grew to love it a lot. And so like it's one of those ones now that like is like I kind of wish Dredagon got some more love, but yeah. So
I'm just was it for the Gen 5 season, Logan? I'm just trying to even see what sets you would run on it.
He might have been Gen 5, or it might have been.
Do you remember what you did on it at all?
I remember I used Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet for a little bit because it's got Rough Skin.
Yeah.
And it was. I remember it got some fun moves. Like I'll have to look back. I'll have to look back at my stuff and see what it is.
It gets Sucker Punch.
It got some. Yeah, it gets Sucker Punch. It had some unique movesets that I was like it got Thunder Wave, I think. Like it got some really cool stuff that made it like pretty like versatile, which was like unique to like the Dragon Spear. But
so random.
It's fun. So it's so random, but I loved it.
No, I just love the random Pokemon that just like, oh yeah, that's Pokemon. So
too many of those.
Our next question for you is: do you have a favorite Pokemon move animation? So like Fire Blast, Hydro Pump, Hyper Beam, anything that you like love, and in any game. Like it can be in like the earlier games, it can be Battle Revolution, Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, like Battle Revolution is the animations in that game go crazy.
So
they're
good.
Insane, right?
So far ahead of its time, yeah.
But probably my favorite, ironically enough, comes from Gen 7. It's Mew's Z-move, Genesis Supernova. Who just launches the Spirit Bomb. That just out of nowhere. I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, as you can see.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say I saw that.
Absolutely crazy that they just pulled this out. Like just crazy. I don't think anything will ever top that for me. That's totally biased, and I'm totally aware of it, so it's fine, right? But another one that I really like is just all the ice moves in Gen 3, where it's like.
I was gonna say, yeah,
that
Ice Beam.
sound just does something to me.
The Ice Beam in Gen 3 is goated for that.
It's amazing.
But yeah, you say Genesis Supernova. I remember when I see all these Z moves, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, is Mew Kakarot or something like this? I'm like, just doing Super Saiyan. It's just so good. Yeah, it's awesome. Or another one that's like a total Dragon Ball Z type move is I think it's Necrozma's, but it's like light that burns the sky or something like that. The light that burns the sky. Yeah, just some.
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
I ask myself that every day. What were they thinking with that?
In our draft league, I got Mew drafted this season, and so we're doing Nat Dex Gen 9. And I am waiting to bring that Unium Z because I'm like I've been eyeing that strat. It'll eventually come in there, I'm sure.
Let's
it's
get
gonna
it.
be so fun.
That is clutch. That's gonna help you. I promise you. You can't get knocked off. You're just gonna be like, they're gonna live
so
the knockoff, and you're gonna be like, whoa, how do they live that? They must be physically defensive. And you're just max special type, boom, drop that thing. Anything's dead.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I forgot about a lot of the Pokemon specific Z ones that are just some of the names are amazing. Catastropika for Pikachu's Volt Tackle.
Yeah. Even Primarina's is kind of similar. It's just like a big bubble type of bead.
Oceanic Operetta. Yeah, it's like a massive bubble.
Oh wow.
The names go hard. I will say that.
The names go extremely hard.
I kind of think what they need to do is they all like not maybe like tone down the power scale a little bit, but like because like Gmax moves like and stuff like that too. I loved those, like just the animations and things. I'm like, it'd be kind of fun if they gave like moves that were like never used, either some of the effects or like gave like, for example, like a level 75 move that Primarina would just only learn as the Operetta move. Like that'd be cool because then it's like they don't go away forever, and like you can obviously balance them somewhat, but like the G Max, the G Fire Blast or whatever it was would set up the sun. I think Fire Blast and Hydro Pump should do that, like rain and sun. That could be cool, and it'd be so fun.
Yeah, so much potential.
All right, last question we got for you before we let you go. So let's say you get to attend a TED Talk from one of the Pokemon professors about the research, and we have them all listed out so you can choose. So you got to let us know which one you'd like to hear from. So we got Oak. He focuses on Pokemon and human relationships. Elm is breeding. Professor Birch is Pokemon habitats. Rowan is evolution and form changes. Juniper, we got Pokemon origins. Sycamore is obviously Mega Evolution. Kukui is Pokemon moves, so obviously all the Z stuff. Magnolia is Dynamax. Sonia is the history of Galar. And then Sada and Turo are the paradox phenomenon, just in an ancient and future, respectively. So if you could go to a TED Talk for one of them and they just go headfirst into one of those topics.
And then I got to know, what would Joe, Brock, and Trump...
Yeah, and then we want to hear that.
Funny you say that. The last episode I released of Infinite Fusion, what is it now? Is it 5, I think? 5 right now? The common question was, if you could study under a Pokemon professor, which would it be? That's insane. Wow.
That's hilarious.
And I literally looked up like online the same thing. I was like, what did all the Pokemon professors do?
Yeah.
And I can't believe how much of a disappointment Sonia is. Just like, that's crazy. She hasn't done anything, and her mother or grandmother, I think it's her mother, has like discovered like Dynamaxing and the capabilities of it, and really like brought it to the region and stuff. And Sonia is just, I'll do something in the future, and then she does nothing. Like that's crazy to me.
It's sad. Yeah,
that's crazy. But I think I had them do. I think Brock picked Oak because Oak is in my videos, Brock is like a Gen 1 stan, like through and through.
Yeah, yep.
He loves it. Loves Gen 1 to the heart. So and as well as that, like Oak is one of the most defined professors. Like he gave the Pokedex, he gave it all the entries and stuff, and was the reason that it exists. Donald picked Kukui because he's like actually somewhat of a decent battler because he became champion and stuff like that, and he really understands, as you said, like Pokemon moves. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And then Joe picked, I don't even remember who Joe picked. Maybe was it Rowan? But my pick would be Rowan. Again, that's probably just Gen 4 bias.
Right.
But like it's just, I think it's interesting that they paired it with such a not a minor mechanic, but it's something that Gen 4 is known for.
Yeah.
But it isn't
Yeah.
really even explored in those games, is like the further progressive evolution. And a lot of my favorite Pokemon come from Gen 4 because they're adding on to what was pre-established. Like
Yeah.
Weavile
Yeah.
makes Sneasel so much more valuable. Honchkrow, Miss Maggie is like all of these Pokemon that were just
Yeah.
literally middling before. And the one thing that I say Pokemon is missing nowadays is that follow-on evolution from a previous game, because it's such an easy way to catch up with power creep.
It's so easy. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like when I saw King Gambit in Scarlet and Violet,
oh my
like
gosh. Yeah.
instantly fell in love. And I thought Bishop didn't even really need an evolution, but I'm so glad it got one, because oh my god, that thing's
Exactly.
amazing.
It's like the defining Pokemon and yeah, competitive.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, like he even proves it through his broken ability, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all those Gen 4 Pokemon is like really put that spin on what was pre-established. So probably
love that.
there'd be a lot of insight there. You know, it kind of opens up like, okay, is it just a case of there's other Pokemon in the past that have been discovered that can evolve? We just don't know how. Is there like a specific stone out there? Is there a specific evolution requirement? Like, you know, do I have to go to Paldea and spin myself around in
Yeah.
a circle for 20 minutes and then, you know, I don't know, Farfetch will evolve again? I don't know. So I think that's
Yeah.
interesting to think about.
I love that. No, that's one big reason I love Gen 4 as well, for all those evolutions. And it'd be so easy because like with Power Creep, I mean, like for again, to you know, in our draft league right now, look at everyone's teams, and I feel like the majority of everyone's teams are from like they're either Pokemon or forms of Pokemon from the last like 3 or 4 generations, like the majority of
Right.
them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, give Seeking an evolution. I always thought Seeking was so cool, and then it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, give it one more evolution and make it just super cracked. Another like water fairy or a water steel type with a big horn or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I remember when I was a kid, because that was so cool. And Diamond, Pearl came, and then Platinum, and like it's like 10 plus Pokemon that got an evolution. I thought that was so freaking cool. I'm like, oh yeah, Weavile, Magmortar, Electivire, and everything.
Yeah,
So
like just insane.
I'm like, that's awesome.
insane.
That's a really
Yeah,
good
just
call
don't.
out.
They better not give anything to Luminion. I hate that thing so much. I hate it. Like as I said, I played through Gen 4 so many times, right? Diamond
Yeah.
Pearl specifically, and every time I get to the Pokemon League, I beat it. I'm like, easiest thing ever, and I'm trying to go to the battle area and all this, and it's like, yeah, you got to fill your Pokedex. I'm like, there's 2 slots missing. Who did I miss? Every single time,
it's always
Finneon
Finneon.
and Luminion. Every single time, and you've got to catch a Finneon to get Luminion. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I hate
It's
them.
so
I hate them
annoying.
so much, and they're worthless. They're just so dumb.
They're not
Sorry.
even great.
I love
It's
that
so funny.
much.
I
The
just
rage.
hate them. I'm sorry.
So good.
I just really do. Like, if they had a mega evolution, or if they got like a further form or something, that would just add fuel to the fire, and everyone would be like, "Yeah, I told you, Luminion was so good this whole time." I'm like,
And you're like,
"It's
no,
not.
it was
No,
never good.
No,
It's
never.
never good.
Come on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
They're always bad.
Always bad. I hate them.
That's hilarious.
Anyways,
I love
we're back.
that so
We're
much.
back.
We're
Sorry,
good.
guys.
We reeled
The
it
voices took over again. Sorry, I should
in.
have
The
typed that
Finneon
out.
Minion voices. No, hey, we really appreciate it. We want to thank you again for giving us some of your time. And before
No
we
problem.
sign out, we wanted to give you the floor one more time to go ahead and plug anything that you have coming up. Plug what where we can find you. Any maybe tease something you have coming out, and then leave the people with some words of wisdom, whether that's about Pokemon, whether it's about content creation in general, or just some general life advice that's really hit home for you recently. Anything that works.
Awesome. So, thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was a great time. I really enjoyed talking. Like, if you don't stop me, I will talk for like hours and hours on end.
Oh, trust
So-
me. Logan and I, we probably could have gone for another hour if
I'm
really
glad.
could. Yeah.
Glad to relate. I'm so glad
So-
to relate. But yeah, you can catch me over YouTube, Gameproducer6. That's where you can find me. I have a Twitter that isn't really used, but that's fine. I sometimes post there. It's all good. I have a Discord. There's my personal Discord, and then there's a collaborative Discord where all the other President's AI creators are. I usually am in those chats, so you can definitely ping me and let me know. I'll respond to any queries or questions.
Awesome.
I'm in the middle of Infinite Fusion at the moment, so I know a lot of people love the compilation videos in particular. So we're about 3 or 4 episodes away from doing the first mega parter, which is a 1 to 10. It'll be like probably 4 hours long. So
Awesome.
I know a lot of people enjoy that. I
Yep.
got a couple of other projects in the works as well. Some not Pokemon related, some Pokemon related. Kind of coming within the next few months, hopefully over the summer. And in terms of words of wisdom, that's very interesting. You know, funny enough, okay, this is something I've never actually made this public. So this is some exclusive Skill Link podcast juice here that you're getting, all right? So I said that one of my reasonings for starting the series was to tell people like AI is not scary, right? That was one side of it. The other side of it was I feel like society today, people as a modernization, we spend way too much time pretending that we're socializing, that we're scrolling through Twitter, we're scrolling through Facebook, we're scrolling through Instagram, stuff like that. And you can scroll for 4 hours and then you'll come in the next day to work or to see a buddy and you'll say, I didn't get anything done yesterday. Like I was too busy. Really, you were just scrolling for 4 hours, you know? And when I started this last year, it was last June, I had a lot of time on my hands and I kind of took that into an introspective look and I decided, you know what? Do I want to sit down and go through these stupid videos that I'm not going to remember half the content of, you know, tomorrow, let alone next week and the week after? Or do I want to make something that actually leaves an impact and a legacy? So I decided to do a dumb little President's AI videos, a meme. That was great. And somehow, some way, it developed into a crazy project and a crazy community that has really touched a lot of people's lives and has really helped people through tough times in their life and to get them through the week and to appreciate their weekend and their time and just sit down and just relax and watch a video. So I think people out there who are scrollers and enjoy in taking that form of content, maybe just think about it. You know, you don't even have to content create. You can go out, have a walk. You could, you know, meet up with a friend you haven't seen in a while, or you can sit down and edit a YouTube video or take a class or take an online course or something. Just something to put into perspective, maybe. That's all I gotta say.
That's beautiful.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
How it started, and this is how we're doing. So doing pretty
Here
good.
we are. Yeah, that's incredible.
Awesome.
No, I think that's beautiful advice. So, beautiful words of wisdom from our friend GP Gameproducer6 here. Again, we want to thank you one more time. We'll plug everything for you. We'll put everything in our description. We know we're small, but we'll of course give you shout outs everywhere. And keep you guys' eyes peeled for the awesome stuff that he's putting out. I gotta say, even the memes, the sword and shield walkout with the Cinderace. Dude, I was laughing. I was like, this is perfect. I love that meme template in general for all the other stuff I've seen it for, but to see it with a Cinderace.
It's a double entendre because I made a joke one time in the Sapphire series where it was like, you know, one of my videos got demonetized and one of the guys says, yeah, like we got to get these videos to explode because now our editor is having to resort to doing Cinderace OnlyFans. And it's the one joke I cannot break away from. Everyone's like, yo, so when you drop in the OF pics? And it's like, oh God, what did I stumble into? So then I put out that video. I was like, hey, look guys, it's GP6 in an alternate timeline. And people freaked. They were like, so it's real. Send me the photos. Like, oh, it's a joke.
Oh man,
it's a joke, guys.
It's not real, man. That's
no,
hilarious.
I swear. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, we won't plug those, but we'll plug everything else. And
Thank you.
Everyone else, be out there. Keep your eyes peeled. We have an edited video with Nico coming out soon as well. We're continuing to stream our Soul Link of Elite Redux. So guys, also,
I will be there.
You know,
just to let you know, I will be there. I want to hear your insights. I want to hear your read-throughs, your strategies. I will be there. Don't worry.
We try and go a couple times a week, so we'll usually post on our community tab whenever we're live and get free. But we'll keep your guys' eyes peeled for that. And until next time, this is Josh, Logan, and GP with Skill Link signing out.
See you guys.
Peace out.